You probably know this guy, and surely you've seen this guy before. These are the characters introduced in this arc of Heroes. Just like last time, this story mixes a lot of new characters and old callbacks. And just like before, we have more than one story arc to cover. I already went over the Dark Demon Realm content of Universe Mission last time, but now it's time to tackle the other side and learn what's going on in this story. Just like before, I'm using Dave2121LV's guide to tell me what happens in the game's events, while also explaining the differences in the manga made by Yoshitaka Nagayama. However, this time, Heroes arcs going forward now have the anime adaptation, so we now have 3 sources to pull the story from. If the game has events in a different order to the anime and manga, I'll just use the game as a basis to talk about how the adaptations differ. I'm sure, in your own way, on your own time, you can find ways to watch and read the anime and manga and find out how those stories exactly go. Otherwise, we'll be here all day talking about the events of all 3. Got all of that? Good, let's begin. To start off, let's go over what happened in this timeline before the events of the story. It would be the plot of Dragon Ball going all the way up to Dragon Ball Super Broly, meaning this is strictly in the Super timeline. Goku still doesn't have mastery over Ultra Instinct, lining up pretty well with how he couldn't freely use it in the Broly movie. Like the Zeno timeline though, it seems every Z movie happened. They were careful though not to have Z Broly acknowledged by Capsule Corp Goku and Vegeta, so his stories may not exist. However, I personally think we should include them, cause it'd be really funny if King Vegeta had to punish 2 Saiyans named Paragus because he was jealous of their sons being too powerful, both coincidentally named Broly. Like, he thought he went too easy on the first Paragus, so he attempts to kill the second and stabs his son. This would also mean you have to justify events and cast differently, like in the Zeno timeline. Like, the Tree of Might cast would have to change, and Goku defeats Slug with regular Super Saiyan. Since Fusion Reborn is included, this is a world where Frieza has been brought back from the dead 3 separate times. I don't know, maybe he really did gut punch Gohan in ROF as payback. Vegeta would already know how to do the fusion dance thanks to this movie, so I guess that could change some things. Like maybe fusing into Gogeta against Zamasu? The Broly movie wouldn't be any different, since all that would change is Frieza wouldn't stall Broly for like an hour. That's pretty much my thoughts on this timeline for now. Why does Goku wear a Capsule Corp logo? I'm no genius, man. I don't know the answer to everything. Bulma just made some new outfits for him and Vegeta for saving the Earth against Broly, you know, since their old outfits blew up. Ignore that he had his old outfit when visiting Broly. He just didn't go see him in the Capsule Corp timeline. As we know, this story is post-Broly, so there are no superhero characters or manga-exclusive arcs predating this arc. No Orange, no Beast, none of that. And that's the case for all arcs of Heroes, so don't expect Gohan in the future to pull up with 2-story-tall white hair. We open with Goku and Vegeta training with Whis, now in their new Capsule Corp outfits. Goku still doesn't have a handle on Ultra Instinct and can't willingly transform into it. Shin is here along with Old Kai in the manga, and the cast takes in this time of peace. That's when Future Mai arrives out of nowhere, telling everyone that Trunks has been kidnapped and needs their help. Now, before we unpack that, the different versions of the story make her presence a bit inconsistent. The manga implies space-time distortions cause Trunks and Mai to be pulled here from the future, whereas the anime and game suggest they use the time machine again to come back so Trunks could train with his father and Goku. I guess since Trunks and Mai doubled up in their new future, these two could afford to leave the world in their duplicates' hands. The trailer for Mission 1 actually shows Trunks training with Goku and Vegeta, so we know this is the case for the game and anime. Mai learned about her boyfriend getting kidnapped thanks to a mysterious figure who reveals himself to our cast as Few.
僕に任せて。はじめまして、皆さん。僕はフュー。 監獄惑星には詳しいから案内するよ。
Claiming to be Trunks' friend, he knows he has been trapped and betrayed on a place called the Prison Planet. The boy is an expert on the place and offers Goku and Vegeta to join him in rescuing his compadre. Vegeta, however, is immediately suspicious, and Shin asks if he's from the future, which Fu confirms is true. Whis doesn't know of any prison planet, with Fu nervously saying it doesn't exist in the present timeline just yet. Even though there's some mysterious tension, they do decide to go. And despite Shin thinking this is a bad idea, he asks Mai for a favor, and Whis entrusts Goku and Vegeta to handle whatever Fu may have planned for them. In the game, they encounter people like the barbarians Zamasu despise and some of Paragus' old men. The prison planet itself is composed of multiple planets. Among the ones we know are the Green Area, which is actually Planet Barbary from Universe 10, the Slum Area, the Chaos Area, which is actually an area in Hell in the previous arcs, and the Core Area nucleus inside of the composite planet. Still distrusting of Fu, Vegeta and Goku decide to test his power, to which the young man obliges.
この連中が骨のねえやつばっかで体がなまっちまいそうでよ。よかったら稽古に付き合ってくんねか？
カカロットにしてはいい提案だ。俺も混ぜろ。
面白そうだね。いいよ。よろしくお願いしますよっと。
Despite showing remarkable skill, Vegeta can tell he is far from revealing his true power. A large key approaches them, and they're confused why it resembles Goku's energy. Fu explains there's another prisoner here that looks exactly like him, suggesting they meet. Zeno Goku quickly arrives on the scene, already in Super Saiyan 4. In the game and anime, Zeno Goku attacks his super counterpart thinking he may be in league with Fu, whereas in the manga, Capsule Corp Goku immediately defends Fu. I'll just refer to the Capsule Corp characters by their normal names and use the Zeno title for the Zeno characters. Goku goes into Super Saiyan Blue, which Zeno Goku does not recognize in the manga, and has a roughly even fight with his counterpart. The game expressly states that Zeno Goku is at a disadvantage in power though, so Blue Goku wins the fight there. In the anime, the Gokus realize there's a barrier above their heads, sealing them on the planet. Zeno Goku gets an idea and forces a Kamehameha clash to break it, but to no avail. One way or another, Fu lets the mask slip, with both Vegeta and Zeno Goku seeing how useless it is to strong-arm him. He explains that he has created this prison planet as a testing ground to get data from warriors. He actually kidnapped Trunks and used him as bait to lure Goku and Vegeta here. In the anime, he says he did this to punish Trunks for his crimes of messing with time, but this reads sarcastically to me. I mean, Fu's whole hobby is messing with the timeline for his experiments, so I don't know where he gets off criticizing Trunks for that. It turns out Zeno Goku purposely let himself get captured in order to investigate this place, as it sticks out like a sore thumb in time-space. He was given a special Dragon Ball along with Trunks, which are necessary to escape the prison planet, as the seal around it makes teleporting out impossible. Fu gives Goku's team a Dragon Ball and then heads back to his lab to release a prisoner he affectionately calls Mr. Saiyan. Trunks wakes up in a cell, donned in a prison uniform, and unable to properly use his energy thanks to the key-sealing handcuffs around his wrists. In the game, he fights off Cooler's armored squadron and breaks out, finding himself in a sprawling city where he comes face to face with Cooler.
この無秩序な構造も含めて、ここは監獄惑星と呼ばれている。逃げ出すのは並大抵じゃないぞ。
あなたは？
貴様、ここから出たいか？
はい。でもどうやったら出られるのかわからなくて。
ここでは力がないと生き残れない。脱出なんてもってのほかだぞ。貴様の実力を見てやろう。この監獄惑星で生き残れるかどうかを。
In the manga, Cooler himself instead breaks into Trunks' chambers, seeking out the Saiyan's Dragon Ball. After testing him out, he realizes Trunks has considerable power even when weakened, convincing him to join forces.
飛ばした惑星が多いほどダメージアップより破壊神の力どんどん飛ばすんだ。すごすぎパーフェクトブレイク達成。
決めさせてもらうぞ。
ぶつかるぞ。クリティカルヒット。
This is the last Dragon Ball Heroes mission to have a story in Dragon Ball Heroes World Mission, so no more story footage of that game going forward. I wish they would have released another one with all the Heroes missions in one now that the series is over. You can gauge when this arc roughly took place because of its trailer having Android 21 and the Z Fighter clones appear, so this was the age of the Fighter Z crossover promotion. Back in the green area, Zeno Goku split from the group to find Fu, leaving the others to continue searching for the other Dragon Balls. In the game, Goku's group encounters Bojack's crew, who is in possession of the 2-star ball. They're swiftly beaten and retreat, leaving their Dragon Ball behind. Back in the slum area in the manga, Trunks effortlessly defeats Bojack. Before the pirate can land a final attack though, Cooler kills him with a death beam, telling Trunks to not let his guard down until he's sure his enemy is dead. Trunks didn't have a Dragon Ball on him in the manga, so Cooler teamed up with him to hunt down the other Wish Orbs, which makes it seem like he would have killed him if Trunks did have one. Before they leave, Trunks is shocked to find Oolong in the city, surprised that he'd end up here with the rest of them. The little pigman is manga only, so you won't see him influence any other version of the story. Goku's group feel a terrible key approaching them from a man simply called the Evil Saiyan. He's stuck in a straitjacket but conjures hands of dark evil ki to fight with. From his title to his design and his black and red aura, he is by far the edgiest official Saiyan. He orders the heroes to hand over their Dragon Balls, looking to give his 5 stars some company.
貴様たちが持っているドラゴンボールをよこせ。
As Goku charges the monster, he's swallowed by the ki surrounding the Saiyan.
カカロット、どうかしたのか？
俺に触るな。
Causing him to become Super Saiyan Berserk. No, not Super Saiyan Berserk, I mean Berserk with parentheses. Though, his hair is still in the Super Saiyan 2 design, so I guess it's just an enhanced version of that form. He attacks Vegeta with a wild fighting style totally unlike our normal refined martial artist. In a moment of lucidity, he tells Vegeta to stay away, but from here on out, he is a mindless beast, except for the game, which gives him a violent demeanor while still being able to speak.
全部ぶっ潰してやる。なんじゃたんね。
Their ensuing fight endangers Mai, saved in time by Trunks with Cooler tagging along. Trunks says he couldn't have made it this far without Cooler, showing the Cold Warrior can play along when the situation benefits him, just like Frieza. Mai gives Trunks his new outfit, and he's ready to help in this Saiyan Battle Royale. Alright, hold up. It's time to address something that I have a bit of a history with. Heroes is one of the only games that acknowledges Super Saiyan Rage as an actual form, more so to distinguish Super Saiyan Trunks cards from each other. And it even appears in one of the intros to the arc. So, is that it? Is Rage a real acknowledged form, rendering a large part of my old video moot and pointless? False. Incorrect. Wrong. Neither the anime or manga utilized this form for Trunks, so it clearly wasn't important enough to be used there. And then, during my research, I found something interesting. Specifically in the game, Trunks has Super Saiyan 3, and in a video clip I found, he has a very familiar aura. You know what this means, right? Why the form is never called Rage in the other games or even acknowledged at all? Because Super Saiyan Rage doesn't exist. It's just like I always thought. This Rage aura is just something he has in Super Saiyan 1 or 2, a mere upgrade to existing forms. Because Super Saiyan 3 can also just get the aura. It's a power-up applied to any of Trunks' forms. Sure, you can say it's because Goku donated some blue ki and Vegeta donated some yellow ki that it looks like that, but the intention is clear since they're giving it to Trunks of all people. While you can say Heroes doesn't count for this point, remember, it's basically the only material that calls it Super Saiyan Rage. Without Heroes, we don't even have a name for this form. Rage isn't real, and we've been gaslit into believing a fake form exists. The Evil Saiyan comes to assist Goku, which forces Vegeta to go blue, and Cooler to unveil his new power. Seeking to prove he's capable of anything his little brother can do, he becomes Golden Cooler. He easily handles evil Goku, able to take him out in one blow in the anime. In the manga, he defeats him with a supernova, but he's still not used to this power and reverts down to his final form. The Evil Saiyan then toys with Cooler in the manga and anime, but in the game, Cooler actually forced him to retreat. Goku comes back to his senses, dazed with limited memory of his time being berserk. Cooler explains the power of the Evil Saiyan's ki to him and how it's capable of turning people into mindless monsters. Ulan also recognizes Goku as the kid he's been traveling with up to Pilaf's castle, letting you know this Ulan is as OG Dragon Ball as you get. At this point in the game, our heroes get a breather before things pick back up again, but they aren't so lucky in the other adaptations. The Evil Saiyan continues his fight against them in the anime and manga, with no time to rest against his insane onslaught. The team continues looking for Dragon Balls, facing other prisoners like Dr. Wheelo's underlings. They eventually sense and confront a mysterious key from a dangerous-looking figure. He proves to be a powerful foe, but offers to join forces against the Evil Saiyan. Vegeta wasn't having any of that though, and the creature slips away. Fu explains that he is known as Majin Ozoto, a mysterious being who apparently ate an entire planet in the past. People who know the deep game lore will recognize this guy from the 1994 game Dragon Ball Z VRVS, where he was the main villain. He's considered a demon, so he could have his origins in the demon realm. Wait a minute. He even has an evil third eye! Majin Ozoto certainly has to have gotten a boost since the original game, as there he lost to Android Arc Z fighters in single combat. Like Aura farming Piccolo could find a way to win against that guy in a 1v1. Now he's enough to unnerve our characters who have fought against Super Broly and Jiren. Fu in the manga communicates through a little device shaped like his head, clearly being the manga's stand-in for the Zeno orbs in the actual game. This mechanic has Zeno watching you and rewarding you with a Super Dragon Ball if you entertain him enough. Thank God these aren't like actually relevant in the story, or else it would make some plot points later a bit awkward. Cooler realizes Fu brought King Cold and his army to the prison planet as well, held up in Area Chaos with their own Dragon Ball. He's angered about this, probably has some unresolved daddy issues, and the maniacal scientist isn't helping. The group decides to split up, with Cooler and Trunks heading to Area Chaos while Goku, Vegeta, and Mai keep searching for the Evil Saiyan. The A-Team clears out other groups like Slug and Garlic Jr.'s men, continuing their adventures in the green area. They can't sense the Evil Saiyan's energy due to the seal in the sky masking his presence, and its chains are nigh unbreakable. Goku is pumped to fight against him though, as the Evil Saiyan's strength is on another level compared to Beerus or Jiren. Remember, this is back in the day where Extra Material wasn't sure if Beerus had been surpassed by Goku yet. We had a magazine with Beerus talking from Beerus's POV, his perspective, saying Goku in Ultra Instinct Sign surpassed him. Oh boy, how that aged poorly. After facing more movie villains, the Evil Saiyan arrives. He feels it'd be rude to keep holding back, and so breaks his straitjacket, unsealing his full power. Fu then formally introduces the Evil Saiyan to be an ancient warrior named Cumber. In the manga and anime, when Goku faces him in Super Saiyan God, he freaks out at his appearance. This would imply, along with his title of Ancient Evil Saiyan, that Cumber was among the evil hordes that defeated Yamoshi, or the original Super Saiyan God, whether that's Yamoshi or not, and the good-hearted Saiyans on planet Sadala. Considering only characters like Shallot descended from the original Super Saiyan God, with all modern Saiyans having descended from evil Saiyans, there's a non-zero chance that Cumber is Goku and or Vegeta's ancestor. As they clearly stand no chance, Mai recalls the favor Shin mentioned on Beerus' planet, pulling out the Patara earrings. In the manga, Ulan disguises himself as God Goku to distract Cumber as our Saiyans prep themselves to combine. They fuse into Vegito, immediately going into blue. Ozoto witnesses the battle, but decides he'll wait for a better opportunity before taking their Dragon Balls. As he teleports away, Cooler and Trunks jump into his portal, sending them to the Chaos area. Ozoto is not present in the anime, so Trunks and Cooler just hang around, I guess. Vegito Blue forces Cumber to go Super Saiyan, showing how massive the power gap between the normal Saiyans were. After a large attack from the fused warrior, the evil Saiyan disappears and they defuse. Cumber is angry at this interference, but Fu asks him to be patient as the experiment ramps up. It turns out Ozoto is also part of Fu's little round table. In the Chaos area, the land is shrouded by thick smoke and littered with foes. The Frieza Force fights the B team before realizing it's the real Lord Cooler they're up against. They take them to an injured King Cold, who attempts to reason with his son, to little success. He offers to hand over his Dragon Ball in exchange for getting rid of this intense fog, which Cooler begrudgingly accepts. Characters like Cell, King Piccolo, and multiple Boos appear to slow them down. Fu explains they are the physical embodiment of past grudges with no real bodies, wondering how Trunks and Cooler will face such a force. King Cold defends his son from an attack, proving his faith in Cooler. As the fake Boos close in, he holds them back and gives his son the 4-star ball as a sign of his trust. He warned his children of the danger Majin Buu presented, and now he faces 2 of them alone. Cooler actually shows some concern for him, but Trunks, the Ginyu Force, and he must press on to destroy the grudge amplifier known as Hachiyak. This whole sequence is quite different in the manga, with Cooler and Trunks facing Ghost Warriors who already defeated Cold's army. Cooler goes golden, with King Cold revealing himself to still be alive, astounded at how strong his son has gotten. He offers his son a Dragon Ball in exchange for working together, only to be death beamed through the chest. The patricidal warrior can't trust that Cold won't betray him in the future. While who's fighting who and what Dragon Balls everyone has are different between versions, we'll just use the game as the main reference point. The teams right now, according to the game, are as follows. Goku's team with the 2-star ball, Trunks' team with the 4-star ball, Cumber with both the 5 and 6-star balls, Majin Ozoto with the 3-star ball, Zeno Goku with the 1-star ball, and Unknown Force with the 7-star ball. King Cold is holding back the Boos, Bojack's team is eliminated, and an unknown team was off-screened by Cumber to give him the 6-star Dragon Ball. And Fu just sits back in safety, observing the chaos unfold. Xenogoku is still searching for Fu's whereabouts until his Dragon Ball gets yoinked by Ozoto. The Majin disappears, slowly bringing his background scheme to fruition. As Goku and Vegeta argue over who will fight Cumber next, Fu drops in. Vegeta knows it was Fu's doing that Cumber escaped their last battle, and demands to face the Saiyan once again. Back with Trunks, they find the Tuffle smoke machine and destroy it along with its ghost warriors. The Ginyu Force say they've hit their limit and retreat, but I think these guys just know what's about to happen next. Suddenly, while our heroes are exhausted, an attack blindsides Cooler. Turns out Manga Cooler had the right idea, cause King Cold is a two-faced rat. He let his son's group take care of the Ghost Warriors, getting all softened up so that he could overpower them and take the Dragon Balls for himself. Makes you wonder if he even actually fought the 2 Boos, or he just hightailed it out of there and hid until his son did his dirty work. Before he can make another move though, a large green blast of energy instantly kills the backstabbing tyrant. Fu would introduce the culprit as the real Hachiyak, someone with a deep grudge against the Saiyans, who's not looking to hand over his 7-star ball without a fight. Trunks, being the only one with Saiyan blood in the vicinity, faces its wrath, but is surprisingly saved by Ozoto. This fills the grudge-powered monster with even more rage, entering his new power called the Super Grudge Amplification form. Even so, Trunks' team manages to barely get the win, and Ozoto gives Trunks the 7-star ball as a sign of goodwill. Cooler doesn't trust him, and for good reason, because Ozoto keeps track of every Dragon Ball as he puts the pieces in place. In the manga, Ozoto just outplays everyone here and steals the 7-star ball, forcefully teleporting Trunks and Cooler back to Goku and Vegeta. The band gets back together and Fu is giddy with excitement as the experiment is reaching its climax. Just like his mom Toa, he's using the prison planet as a way to harvest energy from the ensuing fights, all collecting together for his use. similar to Babidi's Majins collecting energy for him when they damage their opponents in his spaceship, except Few doesn't even need to put a spell on you for this to work. Cumber arrives yet again for the Dragon Balls, with Goku going Blue Kaioken times 20 to face him. He asks why his Saiyan foes lack tails, taking this as a sign they've lost their pride as a warrior race. Like I said earlier, Cumber could potentially be their ancient ancestor, so his disappointment could stem from believing the Saiyans have lost their ruthless edge his generation instilled. He does a little classic burst open and mix, declaring he'll show them true Saiyan pride and becomes brother. Do you know what that is? That's Golden Great Ape! That form is a 500 times multiplier, higher than even Super Saiyan 3. Super Saiyan 3 could barely touch Baby, and yet Golden Great Ape made Baby rethink his entire life. Why does Cumber get to have this when his base is overpowering God-level Saiyans? While it is important to mention the game only calls it Great Ape, he does this after becoming Super Saiyan. And his fur isn't brown, it's orange. So I think it's safe to assume he didn't randomly decide to use a worse form than Super Saiyan right now. Vegeta even comments that this is the largest Great Ape he's ever seen. In the manga and anime, Vegito is still fused and engages Great Ape Cumber in Blue Kaioken times 20 for a clash of titans. Unfortunately, as you could expect, stacking Kaioken times 20 on his 15-minute blue timer means this fusion lasts like a total of 2 minutes and they can't secure the win. Their explosive battle starts breaking apart the sealing chains of the prison planet, causing Few to step in his super form. In the game and anime, he absorbs the power ball into his sword, converts the energy into the opposite kind of Blutz waves, and throws it back at Cumber, reverting him to normal. In the manga, he simply cuts off Cumber's tail to end his rampage. Despite the world now on the brink of collapse, the insane Cumber still wishes to fight until the end. The teams are now Goku and Trunks with 3 Dragon Balls, Cumber with 2, Ozoto with 2, Zeno Goku still running around, and Few witnessing the end of his experiment. As Zeno Goku searches for Few's lab, he meets up with Zeno Vegeta. After facing other groups of warriors, they eventually find the lab and blow it to high heaven. If the planet was in trouble before, the destruction of the lab sealed the deal, resulting in its collapse. Cumber is beating the other warriors senseless until the Zeno warriors arrive and pull his attention toward them. Few realizes they destroyed his lab and is absolutely furious, but Cumber wants his swing first. Also, in the manga, he creates a tail made out of evil ki and it boosts his power? Somehow? I don't know, man. This guy can do whatever he wants. I don't even care anymore. Knowing they're outmatched, the Time Patrollers fuse into Super Saiyan 4 Vegito. Despite it being a tough fight in all adaptations, they actually beat Cumber in the game, but also defuse. It's not so easy for them in the other adaptations. The battle continues, breaking the chains of the planet, making Few regret bringing such strong warriors here. Now he'll never get enough energy to fulfill his goal. After some pressing by Trunks, Few reveals he desires to create another Big Bang and jumpstart a whole new universe, simply just to see what would happen. Of course, the regular universe may be destroyed, but that's a sacrifice he's willing to make. Cumber comes back, ready for the final round, and Few makes his escape through a portal, with Cooler pursuing him. Meanwhile, Majin Ozoto has been collecting powers of various warriors he consumes, including Majin versions of the movie villains. He's revealed to have taken all the Dragon Balls for himself in the confusion, and is now ready to use them. Despite Trunks and Mai's best efforts to stop him, he summons Shenron and wishes to leave the prison planet. The wish is granted, and he strands everyone else on the doomed world. In the manga, however, Ulan escapes from the Cumber battle in fear, only to see Ozoto making a wish. Before Shenron can grant him an eternal, undying body, Ulan interrupts him to ask for the world's most comfortable pair of ultra-soft underwear. Nah, I'm just kidding. This pig actually locked in for once and wished for all prisoners to be released from the prison planet. What happens in the anime? Oh yeah, nothing. Ozoto isn't a part of the anime, and so the Dragon Ball plotline is outright dropped. What was even the point of introducing them then? During all of this, the Zeno warriors struggle against Cumber until an unconscious Goku awakens into Mastered Ultra Instinct. Cumber becomes a Super Saiyan 3 in response, but is still no match for the godly technique. Once the seal of the prison planet is fully broken, Zeno Goku teleports everyone away in the game and anime. One way or another, everyone but Cumber and Goku have left the prison planet. However, the most random person shows his face last second. A portal opens up with a tattered fused Zamasu and other mysterious figures arriving through it. Before Goku can process what's going on, Zamasu takes Cumber and teleports away with everyone else. Nowhere left to run and totally drained of his energy, Goku screams out to the heavens as the prison planet explodes. Back on Beerus' planet, Vegeta, Trunks, and Mai come too, realizing they made it out okay. However, Whis and Beerus give them the bad news that Goku never returned. Thus ends the Prison Planet Saga. Now we start the next arc, called the Universal Conflict Saga. And it's quite the appropriate name, as the multiverse will get dragged into an all-out war. In the manga, we get a glimpse inside the core area of the prison planet, where Zamasu and friends took Cumber. Despite the world exploding, I guess the core area is a bit sturdier than the rest of the planet. If he's fixed up and allowed to go on a rampage, Cumber will gather up plenty of energy for them to harvest. Zamasu sits on a throne, but surprisingly taking a back seat to the leadership of another member. Their group is known as the Core Warriors, for obvious reasons. The Time Patrol say their goodbyes before returning to their timeline. There's a chance that the recovery Goku and Vegeta had to go through in Universe Mission 3's Dark Demon Realm story was because they just came back from having to be in the same area code as Cumber for 5 minutes. Even Demigra invading the Time Nest couldn't wake them up from the beating the evil Saiyans gave them. Though, that's just a theory. A game theory! Whis and Shin send Vegeta and others to Earth, only to find Fused Zamasu waiting for them. His broken down body is actually what's left after future Zeno's attack, meaning a piece of him was likely saved by Fu before his complete erasure. After the scuffle, a man named Hearts shows up, saying the Z-Warriors won't provide enough energy for them at this point. Orin claims they have warriors like Vegeta and Trunks in their universe, so they decide to bounce. When probed for a reason behind their invasion, Hearts answers that they will use the Universe Seed to destroy the Supreme Kais, Gods of Destruction, and even the Omni King. The Universe Seed is a powerful object created by Fu, who gave it to Hearts to nurture its power. Figuring out that they were talking about Saiyans before, Vegeta realizes they're heading to Universe 6. Whis can't help as all the Destroyers and Angels have been called together, so Shin decides to take them instead. In the other adaptations, one of the Supreme Kais of Universe 6, named Fuwa, is the one who lets them know that there's trouble in Universe 6. Vegeta and Trunks arrive on planet Sadala, so the prince actually gets to see the original Saiyan home planet for himself. I guess this is kind of what people have been asking for, huh? It's Sadala arc time, baby! Orin spoils the mood by saying every Saiyan on the planet has been put under their control. After a battle with the duo, Kaba, Kale, and Caulifla, Vegeta snaps his student back into reality. Kaba explains that those twins look identical to the artificial warriors created by the Sufurians of this universe. Machine mutants, if you will. They spread like parasites, with the goal of wiping out the mortals of Universe 6. With some breathing room, Vegeta starts training Universe 6 for all-out war. Caulifla steals Shin's earrings so that she and Kale can become Kefla, facing the twins once again. Vegeta inquires why they would want to devastate their own universe, with Kamen explaining that the Sufurians who created them feared their power. After they were put on the chopping block, the twins found their creators unforgivable and escaped. They supposedly gained a grudge against their whole universe, and the Core Warriors' mission allowed them to act upon it. Zamasu faces Kefla, swiftly outmatching her and proving he's gotten stronger since the Future Trunks arc. Hit rips off his skirt like in the manga and goes head to head with the disfigured god. Despite Hit keeping up with Time Skip, Zamasu's immortality means he can't give lasting damage. The pompous deity finds it repulsive that a mortal can naturally bend time like this, proving once again that mortals are dangerous. Hearts disagrees, however, and says it's the gods who are the real danger. He even calls Zamasu out, saying he shouldn't deny his half-mortal nature like that, which of course he takes offense to. Universe 6 is apparently left in ruins after this short war, with Heart seeing it as a necessary sacrifice for their plan to free mortal kind. He convinces Zamasu to stand down while he asks Hit who the strongest warrior of the multiverse is. Despite the assassin keeping his lips sealed, Hearts learns that it's Jiren. So yeah, Hearts can read your mind, or more thematically, he can read people's hearts. Even Hit's time skip is useless since he reads them like a book and predicts all his attacks. Hit is defeated, outright stabbed in the manga by future Zamasu, and the core warriors head to Universe 11, with our warriors pursuing them. In the manga, Beerus and Whis find it bizarre the wish to teleport everyone off-world didn't affect Goku, and they can't sense his energy anywhere in the universe. So the options are he's either dead, or in a place where they can't feel his power. We then cut to Zeno's palace, where the Grand Priest has been taking care of Goku and provided him a version of his own outfit. Our hero is fully recovered and ready to get back into the fight. Hearts and crew pull up to Universe 11 looking for Jiren to feed their universe seeds some juicy energy. Toppo and Dispo are going at it with Cumber, using Super Saiyan 3 against the Pride Troopers. Zamasu also joins in, which prompts Toppo to return to his God of Destruction state. The Machine Mutants find fighting the Saiyans boring and decide to possess Kale and Caulifla. This gives them appearances nearly identical to Baby Vegeta. And while it gives them impressive strength, they are still outmatched by Vegeta, which gives Zoran an idea. Yup, Baby Vegeta 2.0. It's like a mix of Super Baby 1 and 2 with Oren's clothes and features present in the design. But hearing his voice come out of Vegeta's mouth is too weird, even if that was also the case for Baby. As the situation goes from bad to worse for the heroes, Goku descends from the heavens with the Grand Priest. He instantly enters the sign form to take care of business. Zamasu in the anime is also aware of the form, astonished that Goku has dared to enter even further into the realm of gods. Hearts is perplexed for a different reason, as Goku's thoughts don't line up with his movements. Turns out, on the prison planet, he didn't have enough energy to use instant transmission anymore. Fortunately, he still had the Zeno button on hand, and used the side that teleports him to Zeno's palace. From there, the Grand Priest secretly took care of him. Despite popular belief, including me in the past spreading some false information, he wasn't actually trained by the Grand Priest. He simply got new clothes because it's a great way to promote a new Goku card for the game that has a unique design. In the manga, we get a fun moment where, despite being taken off guard by Oren Vegeta, Goku starts laughing at him. He knows his rival better than that, and there's no way a parasite would have complete control over him. Vegeta finally forces Oren out of his body and stands by Goku as the core warriors group up. I wonder if Vegeta being able to break out of Oren's control is because he's stronger than GT Vegeta, or if that means Baby's running laps around Oren. Cumber dares Goku to go silver again, but he can't even maintain the sign form just yet. But in the manga, he's able to face Super Saiyan 3 Cumber in blue, implying he got a Zenkai boost since the last time. Vegeta starts beating the brakes off Oren for revenge, which makes me realize it's weird to have Sufurians whose hatred isn't centered around the Saiyans. Ooh, I know Vegeta was holding back saying something nasty to them.
You annoying, tough old piece of trash!
Zamasu has the Pride Troopers on the ropes until Jiren comes in to save his allies. In the anime, he's his normal stoic self, whereas in the game he's already completely shirtless and angry. Nobody can stand up to him right now, not even Cumber, who has reached Super Saiyan 3 full power. Maybe this is Cumber's way of reaching his golden grade 8 multiplier again, which is also a testament to Jiren's strength. Considering Goku claimed base Cumber surpassed Tournament of Power Jiren, the Gray Alien must have went on a big fat training arc. He truly proves his reputation as the strongest mortal correct. Despite Hearts' gravitational powers giving himself the upper hand, he gets a message from Kamen that they have completed the universal release device in the third universe. So the core warriors dip with our heroes regrouping. Our warriors arrive in the technology-powered Universe 3, finding many different universes' fighters in search of Hearts. Mostly returning warriors from the Tournament of Power. They must have gotten some heads up that there's a universal battle happening right now. We know the Gods of Destruction and Angels are busy meeting together, but the Supreme Kais could have let their warriors know what's going on. Dr. Paparoni, you know, the guy who helped make Annie Laza in the tournament, is working with Kamen to create the universal release device. He has mind-controlled Kato Pesra and fused together to make Annie Laza to fight off our heroes. But there's a chance they could be tough allies, like the Saiyans from Universe 6 were. Once the universal release device is in Heart's hands, he speaks to the mind of every being in Universe 3, urging them to act on their desires and create chaos. If even Trunks can feel its effects, then most mortals of Universe 3 would be completely under its power and start fighting to gather energy for the Universe Seed. Thankfully, other warriors like Ribrianne are resistant, vowing to break its control with the power of love. A core warrior named Lagus, a soul warrior of the Glass Tribe, faces Vegeta with her ability to manipulate glass like she has ice powers.
She kinda bad though. Is that Frost?
Knowing they're no match for Vegeta separate, Kamen and Orin combine together into Kami Orin. Vegeta sees this not so much as fusion, but parasitic morphing, especially since it doesn't seem consensual in the manga. By the way, I don't know why, but Blue Evolution has never looked better than in this fight in the anime. Turns out not burning your retinas with a blinding aura makes it better to look at. During this fight, Majin Ozoto teleports in to ambush Lagus, only for Trunks to stop him and force a retreat. Dude really tried to snatch a win in someone else's battle. Man, no one likes you, get outta here! With the Universe Seed nearing full power, Hearts calls for a tactical retreat. They can't hope to take on Zeno until it reaches full power, so they head to Universe 7 yet again. Shin lays down the facts that even if the Universe Seed can't kill Zeno, attempting to do so could anger him to the point where he will erase everything. Meanwhile, Fu is watching all of this unfold in his secret lab, looking to add something to this universal conflict. The manga and anime have many differences in this section, including removing our heroes going to Universe 3 altogether, but they all boil down to the same plot, getting us back to Universe 7. In West City, the Z Warriors arrive ahead of the Core Warriors, gathering Piccolo and Android 17 into their ranks. Hearts arrives atop the Universe Seed, sending Fuse Zamasu, Cumber, Lagus, Orin, and Kamen to attack. As the battles start heating up, Fu's special guest, Metal Cooler, crashes the party to spice things up. You see, when Cooler chased after Fu, the mad scientist eventually led him to the Big Getty Star to power him up even further. His blackened left eye is an indication that he has entered the rampaging state, which Mira and Turles did in the Dark Demon Realm story. He also has no clones or backup army, so this may be Cooler's real body inside this machine. Despite being off-screened into a toaster, he's still able to transform, turning into Golden Metal Cooler. He demands a one-on-one with Cumber for the humiliation the Saiyan put him through on the prison planet. As the Core Warriors create an uphill battle, Jiren and Hit arrive to defend Earth. The Pride Trooper claims this is for the crime of attacking Universe 11, while the assassin says Shin hired him to help. Hearts witnesses the battles unfolding and decides to join the fight in his Super Hearts form, claiming to be the strongest warrior on the battlefield. The battle between him and Goku is the part in the anime that has those animation cuts people freaked out over looking so good. Meanwhile, Cumber and Metal Cooler have a duel in their strongest forms. Despite having full power Super Saiyan 3, the evil Saiyan is totally outclassed by the Golden Tyrant. After he gets his stomach erased with a golden death beam, the wounded warrior has to watch as Cooler charges up 3 supernovas. He's looking to turn Cumber into a Popeye's 4-piece chicken dinner. Cooler starts to overheat though, resulting in his left eye exploding and momentarily breaking his concentration. But he's built different and wasn't gonna waste this opportunity, so he still throws all the death balls at Cumber, knocking the Saiyan out for good before he retreats. Kamen and Orin aren't doing well against their opponents, forcing them to combine yet again. This time, absorbing the incomplete Universe Seed to reach their ultimate form. They trounce Goku pretty easily, but this activates his mastered Ultra Instinct, striking them in the face. This was actually enough to kill them, but their energy fed into the Universe Seed and allowed it to reach full power. Hearts can now make his dream come true, and so absorbs the Universe Seed into himself. In the manga, Ultimate Form Kami Orin is formed when they are still in Universe 11, knocking away even God of Destruction Toppo and Cumber. Zamasu complains that they're using the Universe Seed's power, but they say they only used a little bit. Before the monster could kill Dispo, Jiren comes in and defeats them in 2 attacks. Luckily for them in this story though, the twins get to live as prisoners. Cumber weakly demands to fight Jiren, except Fu sends him to his doom to fight Metal Cooler. For reasons I'm still not too sure of, this mission mostly is a recap of the Universal Conflict arc up to this point. I think it's to line up with the events of the anime airing at the same time, as Jiren and Hit haven't arrived yet and Hearts hasn't eaten the Universe Seed. Anyways, Hearts seems to show some compassion for his fallen allies, but their deaths did bring the group's goals into reality. Trunks asks why Zamasu would help a mortal like Hearts, to which the answer is simple. He experienced firsthand how terrifying Zeno is. Even with his immortal body, he stood no chance. So with the Universe Seed, he can have the biggest obstacle to the Zero Mortal plan eliminated. Jiren and Hit arrive like before, tag teaming the would-be gods so the others can reach Hearts. In the manga, Zamasu outright betrays Hearts, seeking out the power of the Universe Seed for himself. Lagus freezes him before he could collect the seed, with Trunks cutting his glass figure in half. Unfortunately, Lagus can also handle Trunks pretty easy. Hearts would explain his intentions with the Universal Release Device, and Universe Seed is to free the mortals of the multiverse. The Kais, the Destroyers, Zeno. All of these things stand above mortals and decide their fates. On their fickle whims, they can erase anything they like, with zero accountability for the lives lost. He wishes to free mortals of this cage, culminating in the Universe Seed having the power to kill the king above all. But while the core warrior holds his own, Lagus has to prevent Jiren from landing a massive blow to Hearts. She also halts 17 and Piccolo from joining the assault, using her Glass Dragon technique to fight them. She gets baited into believing she offed Piccolo before he hits her with a special beam cannon. 17 then follows up with his Xenoverse original move, Super Electric Strike, and putting her down for the count. It's really funny outside of the original anime and manga, this has become one of 17's official moves in the game since Xenoverse, even being shown in this manga and Dragon Ball Super's manga. Before Lagus can do anything else, Ozoto arrives yet again and consumes her. One of his main goals since the prison planet has been to track her down and steal the Glass Tribe abilities for himself. After doing so, he leaves the scene and the arc for good. Hearts has finally fused with the Universe Seed, ascending to the Godslayer form, sometimes referred to as Perfect Hearts. He gets some Omega Shenron spikes, and I'm guessing the orbs on his back represent all 12 universes. Like he thinks he's got the whole multiverse backing him. Or it's meant to represent the multiversal power Zeno can wield. Either way, it looks like something you'd see on a fan-made Dragon Ball Forms wiki. He backstabs Zamasu, as while he appreciated the help, Zamasu is one of the gods after all. Wow, seems he likes to pick and choose when Zamasu is a mortal or a god to justify when to work with him and when to betray him. And poor Zamasu, he actually looks devastated that he was hoodwinked like this. An ironic twist of fate from the manga. Most importantly though, the power of the Universe Seed allows him to erase an immortal being like Zamasu completely, proving his powers are in fact similar to Zeno's. The heroes are unable to touch him, and he can read their minds, react to their moves, and manipulate the gravity around him with his off-brand Naruto truth-seeking orbs. Goku still can't rely on Ultra Instinct, so he and Vegeta decide to fuse into Gogeta as everyone else backs them up. Hearts finds the fused warrior interesting, and the two engage in a godly battle. Hearts believes by going toe-to-toe with him, Gogeta could actually defeat Zeno, so he offers him a chance to fight for the freedom of all mortals. He's either delusional in the Universe Seed's power, or Gogeta really is just that guy in this story. However, the Fusion Warrior believes he's already free, Hearts claiming they just don't know that they lack freedom. He wonders why they don't just follow him, and decides to listen to the voices covering Earth. They're terrified, seeing the planet in peril for the millionth time, hoping that Mr. Satan will save them once again. This causes Hearts to shed a tear, believing this world has been truly brainwashed by the influence of the gods, sending a meteorite to wipe the planet away. So I don't know if that means he believes the influence of the gods is Earthlings being dependent on someone to come save them, or if he actually thinks Mr. Satan is one of the gods. I mean, true. And obviously, this meteorite he threw is not a simple rock from space, or our heroes could just easily blast it away. This has the power of the Universe Seed behind it, meaning the whole universe may as well be crashing down on Earth. As it hurtles toward the surface, Gogeta, Jiren, and Hit combine their attacks to destroy the meteor completely. Hearts is filled with genuine amazement at how these mortals have no limits, and in one more struggle is beaten with a fatal blow from Gogeta. In the manga, Hearts is blasted into the meteor by a Limit Ultra Kamehameha, smashing him into the middle of the two titanic attacks. He says the countless debris will still wipe out Earth, but Gogeta warns him not to underestimate mortals. Jiren, Hit, 17, Piccolo, Shin, 18, Krillin, Gohan, Roshi, Tien, and Trunks are all shown destroying fragments of the meteor. This ends up being Hearts' wake-up call. He finds beauty in mortals, and only wish for them to be free from the fate set by the gods. But these mortals, that can defy expectations and surpass their limits, are a beacon of hope that they can stand on their own. He fades away with a smile, leaving Gogeta to look on in solemn disappointment, reminding me of Goku's iconic stare. The characters all breathe a sigh of relief as peace returns yet again. Hit says the job is finished, so Shin, you better pay up. My man got stabbed in the manga and still showed up for work like a real professional. Jiren asks why the Saiyans didn't fuse against him during the Universal Survival arc, with Vegeta giving the reason you'd expect. And no, their excuse wouldn't be that Vegeta didn't know it back then, since these guys went through the events of Fusion Reborn. Meanwhile, the Grand Priest is proud of the victory Goku and his friends achieved, as the Gods of Destruction play hide and seek with Zeno. Former Heroes producer Wataru Higuchi claimed bringing the Gods of Destruction here was a ruse by the Grand Priest to distract the Omni-Kings, in order to keep them from destroying everything. Which is really funny because that only means Hearts' fears were completely justified, as we kind of already knew. Imagine the Omni-Kings used those little Zeno orbs I talked about a while ago, and they saw what Hearts was doing and decided to wipe everything out then and there. From his facility, Fu thanks the Core Warriors for showcasing the results provided by the Universe Seed. With their hard work and sacrifices giving it energy, he's got all the data he needs to start his next great experiment. And so ends Super Dragon Ball Heroes Universe mission. This 2-arc story is the origin of many characters and story beats going forward in the series. It was the first storyline to be animated, and therefore the beginning of the story's wider exposure. I think if you just watched the anime, you missed out on a lot of meat to the story. Majin no Zoto is completely removed, the Dragon Ball subplot is completely dropped and pointless, and the pacing is much faster to the point it's hard to follow anything. It just felt like random characters and events were happening out of nowhere. This story establishes many Heroes' original characters that define the Capsule Corp timeline. And there are a few that will continue to be a big part of the wider story going forward. Ozoto was a crazy callback to a 90s game practically no one has heard of today. I only already knew about him beforehand because I saw his design in the early 2010s and thought he was a freaky looking guy. Using him as this wild card playing all sides as he schemes made him far more interesting than a simple cameo character. Few is a little more antagonistic than his depiction in Xenoverse 2, but it helps lay the groundwork for his more villainous role in the future. Cumber is one of the staples of Heroes, being a hype moments and aura merchant while also feeding some lore theories on ancient Saiyans. The Yamoshi backstory got a little more spice to it now with his inclusion. And he's just another powerhouse that gives other characters a chance to look awesome against. Truly if Z Broly and Jiren combine together. Also, speaking of characters that got to look awesome against Cumber, shout out to my boy Cooler. This arc did him really well in many ways, even outside of giving him 2 golden forms. His strained relationship with King Cold, his willingness to play along with the heroes, and his tenacity to finish what he started gave him a great showing. And then there's Hearts. He's a character I saw many people say he should have been a villain in Super, and I can see why given his primary motivation. Dragon Ball Super showed us the gods are extremely flawed, most of them mismanaging their universe to the point of being considered for erasure. Zeno himself worst of all, as he eviscerates universes or even the whole multiverse if he feels slightly annoyed, and sometimes just because he feels like it. Surely there could be someone out there angered by this system and crazy enough to do something about it. But Hearts is no champion of mortals either, perfectly willing to sacrifice their lives on the path to liberating them. He's a very ends justify the means type of guy. Not much different than the gods who played with the lives of mortals due to their job or for their own amusement. And that's not bad. It can be good for a villain to have a bit of hypocrisy, making you want to see them taken down a peg. But his care for mortals wasn't a lie. In his last moments, he truly did admire the power they had, leaving them to fight their fate on their own. Defying fate is a big theme in Dragon Ball Heroes, and we'll see our characters fight against those who dictate their lives going forward. Thanks guys for watching until the end. I hope it was worth the wait. I only talked about the major differences from the other adaptations, so if there is a moment or detail you think is cool that I didn't talk about, just let me know in the comments. And next time, we'll be back with Big Bang Mission.